everyone, my name is Christina and my topic is tropical rainforests, and more specifically, deforestation. What are the characteristics of a tropical rainforest? As we know from our previous lessons, tropical rainforests are considered its very own biome. This biome consists of constant temperature and high amounts of rainfall. This leads to hot and humid climates. It rains almost every single day, and the rainy season is usually from December until May, with March being the month that it rains the most. And most rainforests receive, on average, at least 80 inches of rainfall each year. Rainforests only cover 2% of the Earth's surface, but at least 50% of the Earth's plants and animals come from the rainforest. The rainforest is the most diverse areas on Earth. It is home to at least 5,600 different types of fish, 1,300 bird species, 430 plus different types of mammals, 1,400 amphibians and reptiles, and also there are over 55,000 different plants and tree species. And they are still discovering more species of all the above to this day. And the rainforest can be found in many different countries, not just in South America. This includes Alaska, Canada, Asia, Africa, and Latin America. And rainforests are found on every single continent in the world except for Antarctica, because it is just too cold and too dry for any wildlife found in the rainforest to survive there. Why do we need tropical rainforests? A fifth of all of our fresh water is found in tropical rainforests. 1/4 of our natural medicines are also found in the rainforest. About 90% of 1.2 billion people living in poverty worldwide depend on the rainforest for their daily needs. And this also includes different products from the rainforest and then get imported to different parts of the world. 57% of tropical rainforests are also found in developing countries. Shelter for animals who only know that habitat. If we tear down their habitat, the species literally have nowhere to go and are unable to survive in any other habitat but their own. So unfortunately, these species end up extinct. Like I stated before, there are potentially thousands of different species of plants and animals that have not been discovered yet. And this includes that there may be different cures for different types of diseases with things that we can discover in the rainforest. Rainforests also help regulate the world's water cycle. More than half of the forest's water is held in the plants. Without this, the climate may become much more dry, which will lead to the extinction of different plants and trees. And also, the rainforest holds a lot of the world's food supply. This includes bananas, cocoa, nuts, and different types of coffee. Tourism also helps local towns and tribes to thrive. When we go and visit the rainforest, we contribute by paying for different goods, which helps them to grow local and helps them stay in that area. People rely on the rainforest for different things like food, fresh water, clothing, traditional medicine, and also shelter. Unfortunately, this is the reality. On average, we lose 18.7 million acres of rainforest each year, and that is the equivalent to 27 soccer fields per second. How deforestation affects our planet. Like I mentioned before, deforestation destroys whole habitats. And once that habitat is destroyed, there is nowhere else for those animals to go because they cannot thrive or survive in any other place in the world. And that leads to 4,000 to 6,000 species to be extinct. Deforestation also affects climate change. When trees are chopped down, they release a large amount of carbon dioxide. Trees also absorb greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases trap heat into the environment. And since the heat is trapped into the environment, this then feeds up the effect of global warming. Alters humidity as well. Less trees means less airflow, which alters airflow, and humidity, which reduces rainfall, which is important for the rainforest to grow. Without the humidity, the plants become dry and eventually become extinct. And also the destruction of homeland. With the loss of trees in such a huge number, it also forces eviction of different indigenous people. Why do we chop down so many trees? Sometimes we get lost in our own day-to-day lives, and issues that are happening thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away can really blend into the background. But it's important to know why and what we can do to try to help. Sometimes it happens naturally by, say, forest fires, sometimes by accident, like when a group of loggers attempt to do a controlled burn, but unfortunately it gets out of hand and more trees get burned down than expected. But the biggest percent of deforestation comes from the deliberate chopping and clear cutting and the burning of trees to make rooms for things such as different cattle farms, logging for wood, coffee farms, and other types of wood farms. But there are things we can do to try to help. The first thing we can do is just by simply planting trees. It's very hard to eliminate the cutting of trees and different kinds of clear cutting, but we could advocate for farmers and growers to plant trees in place of the ones that they chop down. Another thing we can try to do is try to go paperless. We can do this by buying recycled paper, if we must. Things like asking for no receipt, using technology instead of writing it down on a notepad. I know sometimes I opt in school to buy the digital version of a textbook instead of going to the library or going to the bookstore to purchase it. It's also a lot easier not to have to lug around a bunch of notebooks or lug around a bunch of textbooks. Another thing you can do is taking notes on your laptop for school. You can, instead of writing down a grocery list on a piece of notepad, you can write it in your phone, things like that, etc. It's also important to recycle things like plastic and cans and things around the house, and also buy recycled products. I feel like nowadays there's always a duplicate of different products but in a recycled form. I would look out for those kind of products. Also, eating vegetarian meals as much as possible. It's hard and time consuming to try and source meat from farmers who did not eliminate land in order to raise cattle. Eating vegetarian eliminates that, plus it's also a lot healthier. So I would say try and stay away from meat products sourced from land where forests have been cleared. And also buying organic. We're lucky that we live in California because there is so much different agriculture around us. Going to the store isn't such a strain in buying local products. I know at Safeway and at Trader Joe's and places like that, they have boards outside that tell you exactly what products are sourced in California, and I really like to go buy those types of products. In places like I'm from Colorado, so going there, it's a lot harder to find organic products because there's not as much agriculture around. So we are very lucky to be able to live in California for that very reason. And also, lastly, just to talk about it. Talk about it with friends and family. Strike up a conversation at the grocery store. People don't know what they don't know. And educating people, I feel like, is an effective way to pass on information. And hopefully, eventually, we'll be able to lessen the effects of deforestation. Thank you.